Shalom, 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 beloved angelic family and Gentiles. This is Memsa Yasharal, metamorphosing into magnificence through spiritual awakening. Just wanted to bring a quick message here about Vulcan. So, when I started researching the rays, I purchased books, but I didn't go through them right away. In fact, a lot of them sat for a while, kind of like the keys of Enoch, but when it hit me that it was time to pick them up, then I started, doing the research on particular information. And so during my reading, this information about the planet Vulcan popped up. Of course, as soon as it did, the first thing I thought about was Star Trek because I was definitely a Star Trek fan back in the day, with Mr. Spock and the two fingers up, not knowing, not having a clue, that this was information, about the celestial sphere that was taken from, our ancestors. So when I saw Vulcan in the book, it kind of caught me off guard. So I'm going to go through this, but before I start that, I really want to just look at some definitions to explain some things. However, first, I want to read Luke 12:2 and 3. But there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. Therefore, whatsoever ye have spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light. The light should be heard in the light. The rays are about frequency and sound. And that which ye have spoken in the ear and closets shall be proclaimed upon the housetops. All praises to the mighty one. So on this first slide here, we're going to look at what the books mean by sacred and non-sacred planets. This information may seem abstract, but a way to put this to work for you is to know that in the unawakened masses of humanity, non-sacred planets rule the chart. Okay? Did you get that? But a way to put this to work for you is to know that in the unawakened masses of humanity, non-sacred planets rule the chart, the astrological charts, because this is what the Gentiles put forth, okay? In the Psalms 83 nations, they put forth the non-sacred planets for the astrological chart. And I think a lot of this has to do with our ancestors and the way they did things in the past, is because only a few people knew certain information. The whole community, the whole nation didn't know, the whole tribe didn't know everything that was going on. Only a few people held all of the information. And this is kind of how this system is set up. Whereas to the initiate and the spiritual seeker, the sacred planets rule. Okay. Another way you can use this material is to know and understand that when you find a non-sacred planet in your chart, it would be wise to work with themes of inclusiveness and shifting from a personality perspective to a soul perspective. This is a difference between the non-sacred planets and the sacred planets. You have to make a shift from personality, because all Gentiles ever in the Psalms 83 nations ever used when they talked about the astrological charts was personality and love, love, love. Oh, so it never went to a soul perspective or a spiritual perspective. But this is where we are now, because they separated the astro- astronomy portion of the celestial from the astrological portion, and the two work together. Okay. Some additional considerations in esoteric astrology. Central to esoteric astrology is the concept of sacred and non sacred planets. Non sacred planets such as Mars, Pluto, Moon, and Earth influence the physical, astral, and mental bodies. The other planets, which are sacred, help to integrate the personality and make it an instrument of the soul. The planets, the rays, they all work together. This is not some separate, unique system. This is a system that works together, the astrological part with the astronomical part. It's been separated. So the only thing that we've been dealing with is the microcosm, the material portion of it. You know, our feelings, emotions, love, 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 love. We've stayed in the um, first, second, and third sphere. You know, we've been in survival mode for the most part. That's where that's what this is talking about when it's talking about the non-sacred planets. This is the way that we've lived. So now we have to leave this thought of only the physical, the mental, the emotional. This is why the shadow work is so important. Now we get to kind of get a glimpse of how this works. Our sun acts as a gate or portal for the seven ray energies to pour through. And from here, the seven forces are drawn toward the seven sacred planets of our solar system, which act as vehicles for the ray energies. The rays have an affinity with each of the seven planets, which are, of course, prototypes of the seven rishis of the Great Bear, as above, so below. There are 5 non-sacred planets that also have an affinity for the rays and assist in transmitting them. This is what I was saying in one of the other videos, is that when the rays leave, when the energy leaves the sun, the galactic sun, you know, there's a transmutation, a transmission, and a transformation that occurs because for the most part, though that energy that's coming from that galactic sun, if it hit the earth directly, we would all, none of us would make it because it's powerful. That's a powerful force. So what happens is it's transmitted through the planets and then transmuted before it gets here. And the way that where you are in your based on the spears, or you know what the Gentiles have told us were chakras, where you are at that time depends on how the rays are going to hit your system. This is, I'll say it again, the reason that there are a lot of people that are dropping like flies is because the energy, the force that comes from those rays, people can't handle. Okay, Gentiles know what's going on. These Psalms 83 nations know exactly what's going on. The information that I'm giving you, they've had it. Okay, these 7 sons, of which ours is one, are continually giving off forces that are the product of their ongoing evolution. Gentiles took Pluto off, saying that, you know, it was dead, and there are no dead planets out there. Everything evolves. It's an evolution. These Gentiles and Psalms 83 nations are the one that has pushed this death thing. You know, it's not like that at all. It is said that these forces are absorbed through the 7 stars of the Great Bear constellation, Ursa Major, and their emanations are called the 7 rays. Suffice to say, the 7 stars of Ursa Major have much history and mythology in human consciousness, and in India are known as the 7 rishis, associated with the will and in a simple, generic way as masculine. They gave everything here, said that it was all masculine. And if you notice, India is involved in a lot of this. The ray forces emanating from these stars unite, we are told, with the seven stars of the Pleiades constellation, the so called Seven Sisters, also rich in legend and constituting forces that represent the cosmic mother or feminine principle. This is telling you how all of this comes together. It works together. The cosmos works together, based on the frequency influences, all, the music of the spheres. Okay. Here we have a true marriage made in heaven. As these forces merge, father and mother produce a son represented by the star Sirius. Together, these three constellations, the Great Bear, the Pleiades, and Sirius, constitute a major conditioning triangle of forces influencing this solar system. I didn't write any of this stuff. I'm just giving you guys the information. This is how things work together for the good of those who love the Mighty One and the Divine Mother. All of this information has been there, but we didn't know it. It has been hidden. And, to tell you the truth, a lot of people, aren't going to get this because, they weren't on this anyway. And so, for the most part, where we are today is where everything lies. And by that I mean when the seventh ray hit the earth this time, and which is a ceremonial order and magic, when that ray hit and we, picked up the helm and we got involved in the magic portion of it, it kind of, there was another separation there, another division there, because based on the seven rays, everyone has a specific part that they play in the cosmos, those of our people. They have a place, a specific place where they play in the cosmos. So when the seventh ray hit, and the separation occurred, that was the way it was supposed to be. I mean, it's that easy. I know a lot of our people are still caught up in, the Christianity and that um witchcraft and voodoo and all this is devil worship and blah 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 blah. But this is a frame of mind, a frame of thinking that was implanted in us, and a lot of us by the Christian church, and a lot of us have not been away, have not been able to cut that fear because we're still in fear, even though when you're talking about magic, you're talking about the ley lines that run through your body, the energy forces that run through your body that attach to the micro attaching to the macro. I mean, really, that's all it is. It's the energy from the cosmos attaching to places in your body, and where the ley lines and the forces from the cosmos hit. And this is what happens with the rays. And so, what the words voodoo and magic and all these, this is all Gentile stuff, and our people just cannot let it go. It's like, just let it go. I mean, this way of thinking that they have implanted in your brains is so deep that I, man, we're still caught up in believing everything that the Gentiles tell us. Okay, this is where you are, and this is why you are where you are. And a lot of our people haven't been able to move forward and move from that chakra or spirit of fear. Mm, This is the ray, okay? On this next page is really a little chart of the rays and the non-sacred and sacred planets, the color chakras. And I was looking last night at ray 7, the ceremonial order, the magic, and the sacred planet is Uranus, and the color is violet. I'm all about that life, because just thinking about the pitch that I took of my hand and seeing the violet, the light on there, and how the change from 2 years ago to now. I mean, there's no hiding it. I mean, I was I was fascinated by the whole thing, when I looked at the picture again. But Ray 1 will power the non-sacred planet Pluto, and then the sacred planet is Vulcan, which is the color is red and it's the crown. Uh, this is the Vulcan. This is where Vulcan comes in. It comes into Ray 1. I discussed Ray 1 and I mentioned Vulcan, but now I'm going to talk about that planet right now. I'm not going to go through the chart. Everything is here for you so that you can look at it on your own. And again, it says for disciples and initiates, the sacred planets rule, except for Pluto, which rules. I cut that off. The base, okay, which rules the base. All right, so you can look at this. The whole subject is extremely intricate, so you can look at this, at your leisure. On this next slide, we're going to look at the ray of the planet Earth. Okay, it says each of the 7 sacred planets, of which our Earth is not one, is an expression of one of the 7 ray influences. These 7 planets might be enumerated as follows, and the rays working through them are accurately given. The student, however, must remember 3 things. 1, that every planet is the incarnation of a life, of an entity or being. Okay? 2, that every planet, like a human being, is the expression of 2 ray forces, the personality and the egoic. 3, the 2 rays are therefore in esoteric conflict in each planet. A lot of the esoteric information was hidden from us. We had only the exoteric information. Therefore, we had what the Gentiles gave us. The Psalms 83 nations gave us. In order to get this esoteric knowledge, you must go deeper. You have to look for it. You can't just grab onto everything that's given to us by the Gentiles, because a lot of the Gentiles don't even know the esoteric knowledge. They don't know it. They are given the exoteric, and that's all they know because they've not done the work. So on the bottom, it tells that Vulcan is a sacred planet. It gives you again the sacred planets and which ray controls them. I'll let you guys look at this at your leisure. I just wanted to present it. I'm going to go through all of this information, but you know, as I go through the rays, but there's so much information, there's so much esoteric information we just didn't know. So on this next slide, let's take a look at Vulcan, the sacred planet of the first ray. Standard astrology never refers to Vulcan, which is a planet in a state of temporary obscuration, I'm sorry. It is veiled by the presence of Mercury and consequently is located in this planet's orbit. Vulcan is not a completely unknown planet. However, as it was observed by an amateur astronomer, Dr. Lescart-Duault, on March 26, 1859. So they've known, I mean, come on. They've known about this planet for a long time. This came as no surprise to French mathematician Urbain Le Verrier, a leading French scientific expert at the time. Several years later, Le Verrier had studied the effects of the attraction of Mercury and the trajectory of other planets, and from the beginning, he detected an anomaly. In its orbit, Mercury revolves on its axis, but something distorts the regularity of its course around the sun. I'm not going to read all of this. I'm going to go down to the esoteric ruler of Taurus is Vulcan. Okay. So, in terms of the zodiac, it is Aries that is assigned to the diamond. Aries is the sign of all beginnings. It is a sign of those figures like Abraham and Moses who have provided the major impetuouses that have pulled others along. The primitive human being beginning his evolutionary journey always starts off in Cancer. He follows the ordinary path of the wheel of the zodiac, which for him runs in a clockwise direction. In this schemata, the sign of Aries rules the aspirant who possesses the will to return to the source, to swim upstream, back to the house of the Father, an about face that always takes place in the sign of Libra. So, when for the first time after many incarnations a person incarnates as a fully minded individual, it is in the sign of Aries. So I'm not going to read everything on this page, but you guys can go back and look at that. But it does say in Vulcan's place, astrologers generally use the moon, but this is a mistake as this planet is dead and emits no influence other than the currents of toxic energy rising from its decomposing body and by the reflection of the solar energy shaped by one or another signs of the zodiac at the time of each full moon. And see, I don't believe in all of this planets, this is dead, the moon is dead, and this planet is dead, and there's this and that. No, 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 no. The mighty one did not create anything that was dead. Okay. All of this stuff is seen from the eyes of people that are already dead. Okay. The dead see dead. The dead see death. Okay. So this is how they see things. So on this next slide, let's see the reason that Gentiles and Psalms 83 nations gave for not exposing this information. Again, it must be noted that Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and Vulcan are as yet developing manas. What's a developing mana? It's a cosmic mind, okay? And the stage achieved in each varies and is not for esoteric publication. Did you get that? Gentile said that this was not for esoteric publication. The heavenly men of these schemes have not yet succeeded in bringing their bodies to the stage where transmutation on a large scale is possible. We weren't there. This information did not come to us because we were not there. We were not ready yet. Everything comes in its due course. They are approaching it, and when the necessary 3/5 is reached, then they will begin to transmute on a larger scale. See, where is this information? What book did this come out of? Did it come out of the Bible? No. Where did it come from? Where? Because we want to read the books that the Gentiles and Psalms 83 nations gave us. So, we're not going to go deeper. We're going to go rely on the information that they gave us. So, we're not going to go deeper. You just, repent, 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 blah, 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 hit the water. No, no, no. This is Gentile Psalms 83 stuff that they gave us. You have to go deeper. But many of us can't go deeper. We're stuck. We're in the place where we are based on the rays. There's 7 rays. There are more than 7, but these are the ones they discuss as far as the primary ones that give energy. But I'm going to go over some of the other ones later on. On this last slide are the zodiac rulers, both the exoteric and esoteric. Okay, so that you guys have this information. I'm not going to go through it, but I wanted to present it here so you guys can look at it. There's nothing that I present that is required for anyone to do anything. Okay, The only thing that I am trying to do is provide the information that I discovered that was given to me. The information, I wasn't looking for it. I was looking for information about the seven rays because that is what was given to me. All of this information unfolded during my research. Esoteric astrology, there's a lot of information. There's so much information we just don't know and we can't know. We don't I This lifetime is not the lifetime that we're going to get it all in. I can tell you that. I mean, there's no way. I mean, based on everything that I see, there is no way. And without sharing the knowledge, we would never even come close to getting this information. I want to close with a little word about ascension. Ascension involves raising the frequency of the energy making up your fields. This energy is the energy behind the electromagnetic spectrum of which light or the rays are a part. It is the energy that bursts through the physical barrier to become electromagnetic radiation and ultimately to appear as subatomic particles or waves. It is the light behind light. All praises to the mighty one and the divine earthly mother. Much love to our beloved brother, the Hamashiach. Shalom of love, angelic family. Shalom, shalom, Gentile.